All right, so the Indy Ignite dropping their home opener. We do want to get you updated on the weather as well, though. We want to give you a live look at I-69 and 82nd Street on the northeast side, kind of show you what traffic conditions are looking like, Rob.
Some of the conditions have been better than perhaps expected, but look at the vehicles going by and the snow that's blowing in their wake. That's what you're dealing with tonight.
So it's real light snow right now, but this is just the start.
Absolutely. About an inch to maybe an inch and a half in some locations. There may be a couple of spots picking up as much as 2 inches right now. We do have a heavier area of snow that's starting to move in. There's the radar. I'll go to the wall so I can point out a couple of things that I'm tracking. Notice the darker blues there, an indication of the heavier snow rates that are about to arrive in Indianapolis. I did just step outside, kind of kick the snow around a little bit. Now, I know that sounds silly, but as the meteorologist, what I wanted to really make sure I understood is the consistency of what has already fallen and how that may change over time. What has already fallen has been very light, as Jenny just said, but it's also very powdery, and so it's blowing around a lot. And we'll show you a couple of traffic cameras here in just a moment. In the meantime, as this moves through, I expect we'll probably pick up just what we expected, between 1 and 3 inches of snow before midnight. And really, it's after midnight where we're expecting the bulk of the snow to arrive. Watching the traffic, we are starting to see some slowdown 74 westbound just past Brownsburg. We had an issue earlier on 70 westbound on the east side, maybe from Greenfield over to Indianapolis, but right now, it looks like things are going smoothly or more smoothly. Here's the issue that we had a little bit earlier, but it looks like, according to this, that it's started to clear up just a bit. This is the one that we showed you a little bit earlier, and I just want to point this out. Watch as the vehicles go through. I don't think it's that the salt is necessarily clearing these lanes. I think it's that as the cars move through, they're just blowing the snow off of the lanes. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is that if a gust of wind comes along, look at the snow blowing all around. It's also going to decrease your visibility quite a bit. This is going to be what you deal with overnight tonight. Now, add on top of that 8 to 12 inches of snow, because that is what we're forecasting by tomorrow. Carmel's got a good coating of snow right now. 1 to 2 inches so far have fallen. Most of you are seeing that, and there's our live picture of downtown. I also just am keeping an eye on the roadways here. I like to see what's happening. I did step out into our parking lot and notice that the little salt particles that we put down for our employees, it is melting some of the snow. So the salt is helping a little bit, but it's certainly not what you would expect if the temperatures were about 10 or 15 degrees warmer than the 10 that we have right now. Salt becomes very ineffective once you get down past about 10 degrees, down into the single digits. It's much more effective when it's 25, 26, 28 degrees or so. That is not what we have on the temperature map currently. We've got single digits, 10 to 12. I tell you, this map is live, but it looks exactly the same as it did when we had the IU celebration when I first came in today and we looked at this map. It was 12 degrees in Bloomington then, it's 12 degrees now, and to be honest, by tomorrow it's probably still going to be 12 degrees. Temperatures won't change very much, which means that this map also is not going to change very much. Wind chills are going to stay below zero for the most part. Tomorrow we do expect the temperature to rise just a little bit, maybe as much as 3 to 5 degrees, and that may help a little, but overall what you see is what you get. Yes, we're still forecasting 8 to 12 inches of snow. I have been watching the latest trends. Now, this forecast did account for amounts this evening to not necessarily be terribly high. We were thinking that even if we didn't get any snow before midnight, that this map would certainly hold, and I still think it will. However, some locations have picked up as much as 1 inch to 2 inches already. It's only 9:08. We could pick up additional accumulation before the bulk arrives. Do we need to nudge those values up? I'm going to continue to watch it. One quick thing I want to point out here is these are the snowiest days in Indianapolis since 1871. That's how far back records go. This is midnight to midnight observations. This is what the records have. They have midnight to midnight. 12.1 is the record, and you can see the top 5 that we have here. Will this make it into the top 5? Will this be one for the record books? Well, we still have a lot to watch before we're done with this system. Light snow will turn to more moderate snow, and then it will stay with us through the overnight. There's that temperature that does not budge very much, or maybe nudges up just a little bit. We'll start to see this begin to taper off as we get into the evening after about 7 or 8, and then as we head through about midnight, shutting down the snow. Then the dropping down on the temperatures. Temperatures likely to get below 0 as we get into early Monday morning with some very cold temperatures on the backside of this. Still watching the winds. Wind speed to 23 right now. Some of the gusts are a bit higher than this, which means that there is going to be some blowing snow. Now, right now, the winds are out of the north and east, and because of that, any locations like, say, 65, that's going to be a crosswind that can blow that snow right back onto the roadway. Again, it's going to be a situation tomorrow when we have a lot more heavy snow. It's going to need to get plowed because I think the salt is going to be ineffective. So it's really clearing the streets, especially when the heaviest comes down between 6 a.m. to, say, 12 midday or so. And again, once the plow goes through, if a gust of wind comes along, it may blow some of that snow back onto the roadways. This snow is going to stay with us. Future track will show that through 6 p.m. Then it slowly starts to taper off, and then we'll start to see things improve. As far as temperatures, though, those will not improve. Let me show the 7-day really quickly here. 16 our high temperature tomorrow. We'll do 10 for Monday. The rest of that 7-day forecast is incredibly cold. Overnight lows, single digits or single digits below 0. Daytime highs into the teens and dropping through the rest of the week. I've looked at the long-range forecast even past the 7-day, and it doesn't improve. It just stays cold, especially if we have significant snow cover on the ground.
Oof, it is going to be a rough week ahead.
It really will.
All right, Rob, thank you.
Yeah.